Okay, let's finish by making the knight, which is probably the most complicated because the head of the horse isn't a round cylinder form. It's going to be a flat shape that we'll have to create and then give it thickness. So let's start by selecting our other chess pieces and then hitting H to hide. So that way they're not in our way, and we'll focus on the knight. Just like before, we're going to start with a mesh circle with 8 vertices, and we're going to move that down to the center of the base of the knight. So about there, we'll scale it down to size and then go into, oh, sorry about that. Go into object mode, A to select all, F to make a face. We're in face select here in the top left, and then select the face. And just like before, extrude and scale to make this form up to the base of the horse's neck. So I'm going to stop right there. And when I create this, I'm going to make this part a little bit thinner, because once we give it thickness, it might hang off the edge. So now that we have this, we're going to switch back to object mode. And we're going to move the 3D cursor to this object so the thing that we add will be centered on it. So Shift S and select the bottom option, cursor to selection. And now we're going to hit Shift A to add a mesh plane. And at the moment, our plane is laying flat. So we're going to make sure it's selected, then R to rotate, X for the X axis, and 90, then enter. Now that we've done that, I'm going to grab it on the Z axis and roughly center it where I think the knight is, and then scale it down a bit smaller, and then grab that on the Z axis again. And I'm just going to line the bottom of this cube up, of this plane, I should say, with our base. Now, it's okay if it goes down inside of it a little bit. So we're going to use this to construct the shape of the knight. Let's switch to edit mode by hitting tab. Let's go into vertice select, which is this first button. And I'm just going to left click and drag to select the bottom. Once I have that selected, I'll hit S to scale. And I'm not going all the way out. I'm going to keep it in just a little bit. Now I'm going to box select the top, grab that, and hit Z, so I'll pull it down pretty evenly. Then S to scale, and I'm going to leave a little bit of a slope so it's not perfectly straight up and down. It's coming in a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and start creating the shape. To do this, I'm going to hit E to extrude and go up about the same thickness as the bottom. So this piece and this piece look about the same in their thickness. I'm going to select this vertice on the left. I'm going to grab that, and I'm going to line it up with this corner. And then I'm going to grab the right side and line it up with that corner. Now I've brought that down so it's not quite as thick anymore, but that's okay. So these line up where this sticks out and where this sticks out. Now that I have that, I have this the right vertice selected. I'm going to shift select the one on the left, hit E to extrude, and I'm going to go, it doesn't matter if it's leaning or not, we're going to move it in a second, but I'm going to go about here, and notice how I lined it up on the right. So now I'm going to select the vertice here on the left. I'm going to grab that and line that up here. I'm going to select those two again. I use left mouse click to box select, extrude, and I'm going to line it up right before that curve happens, and then line this up here on the right. I'm going to select those two again. I'm going to extrude and go up a little bit because I'm trying to create this curve. I'm going to select, well, make sure this is on the curve there. Select the one on the right, G to grab, and I'm going to, excuse me, I'm going to extend this out so I'm starting to make more of a triangle. Select the left one and the right one, extrude again, go up a little bit, and now I'm going to line that up. The one here on the right, I'm going to move it up quite a bit, once again kind of making this triangle shape, and select those two, extrude again, do just a little bit to move it around the corner. Now this one here to the top, I'm going to fan that around a bit more. Actually, I'm going to move it down roughly where the base of the ear would be. So select this one and this one, extrude. I'm going to move this over to where his mouth starts to come down. I'm going to select the one at the top. I'm going to move that over here. And let's see, select those and let's extrude again. And I think I'll select this bottom one and move it down a small amount around that curve. And then we're going to move this down and we'll create that part in a second. Now let's select these two. Let's extrude. And I'm looking at the top, lining it up there. Select the bottom, move that up to kind of get this shape. Select those two again, extrude. I'm going over a little bit so I can create this little indent on his lower mouth. Pull that out, select those two, extrude, and I'm just going to pull this about here. I'm going to grab this and line it up, and I'm looking at having it close to where his mouth opens.